Finally, I get to talk about my favorite live show at Universal Studios Florida. Find out what it is on today's Annual Pass. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of Annual Pass. This is the podcast where we talk about all things theme parks, rides, shows, attractions. If it happens in a theme park, it happens here on Annual Pass. I am your host, Jack Pattillo, and of course, joining me as always are my lovely, talented, and beautiful co-hosts, Geoff Ramsey and BK. Hi, guys. Hi, Jeffrey. Hi, Beeks.
Hello. How are you?
How are you doing today?
I'm good.
You have a rough night last night, Jeff? You got your sunglasses on?
No, I'm just extra cool today.
Oh,
I decided I was going to be very cool today.
Super cool. Yeah. I can't believe you're wearing that hat, Jeff.
Yeah.
If you're watching us right now, if you're listening to us right now, you can also watch us over at youtube.com/annual pass. If you want to see our live version, our video version, where you can see our, our faces and whatnot, if you're into that, or you can listen to us on all the various podcast platforms. Follow us on the social medias, annual_pass over on Twitter, Instagram, and Annual Pass Pod over on TikTok. We finally have a video editor. Finally have a video editor, so we're going to be putting up tons of stuff we shot like forever ago. So
also, don't forget to support the Savannah Bananas and Rat Castle.
Rat Castle's awesome. That's our friend's podcast.
BK's the only one repping our gear today.
You got
I got a
you've
different
got
podcast.
Other podcast shirt on. No, this is Rat Castle's our friend. Our friend Nathan and Dave's podcast.
I absolutely know.
And Sari and all these other.
And the Savannah Bananas
folks
are the greatest banana ball baseball team in the world. I got in trouble yesterday in a live stream from Eric because he says I wear this hat too much. I should be wearing Rooster Teeth hats.
So a little making it like behind the scenes, making the sausage type thing here. We were, as of today, recording this episode, we were supposed to be at Universal Studios Florida recording episodes about Halloween Horror Nights. So you're listening to this now. This is October 6th when this came out. We were supposed to be there last week recording the episodes, but Hurricane Ian had different plans for us.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate, but we're working on rescheduling our trip out to Florida pretty soon. And getting out there before Halloween Horror Nights is up. What are you giggling at, Jeffrey?
I guess it's unfortunate for us, but it's way more unfortunate for the people of Florida.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, hopefully everyone's staying safe out there. We have a lot of friends out there.
Yeah, we do.
And it sounds like everyone I've sort of checked in with all my friends that I know. Everyone seems to be okay. And so that's good. And it sounds like, and it's crazy. The park shut down.
Yeah.
So Universal and Disney both shut down on Wednesday and Thursday. And that doesn't happen often.
Well, I mean, a Category 4 hurricane of that size doesn't happen often either.
Yeah. And so it had been a while before a big hurricane had hit
it's been years
Florida.
since one has come. So.
Actually, fun fact, I have a list here of other times that Universal has shut down over the years.
Really?
So September 15th, 1999. So they went almost a decade before their first shutdown. Hurricane Floyd, remember that one? That was a big one. Then September 11th, obviously all the parks shut down for September 11th. And then August 2004 was Hurricane Charlie. I think
Charlie was a bad hurricane.
That was a big one. October 7th, 2016 was Hurricane Matthew. And then September 10th through 12th was Hurricane Irma back in 2017. That was not too long ago, 5 years ago. And then obviously COVID shut them down.
Yeah.
So that was, pretty big deal. And then, of course, the last couple days, September 28th and 29th, because of Hurricane Ian. So doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's pretty significant.
You're a fellow Floridian, right?
I do not like to subscribe to that, but unfortunately, yes.
Well, I mean, I'm not a Floridian. I was born in Alabama, but
she's Florida woman.
I spent most of my childhood in Florida. I lived in Florida, and I gotta say, I do not miss hurricanes. And when I wasn't in Florida, I lived in Louisiana or Alabama. All on my entire life, childhood was on the Gulf Coast. I never escaped it.
Thankfully, Texas, we don't really have a lot of major natural disasters. I mean, there's tornadoes up north Texas. Knock on wood.
Yeah, we're like in a pretty safe pocket in Austin.
Yeah, and like tornadoes, we don't have tornadoes to Austin in the Austin area. I mean, we get flooding occasionally about once a decade. But yeah, Austin's a good sort of not a whole lot of major stuff. No earthquakes really.
We're a little north of the hurricanes and a little south of the tornadoes.
We're far enough inland that by the time a hurricane gets to us, it's just a lot of rain.
There better not be no tornadoes. I'm out.
Okay.
There are definitely.
There was a tornado last year.
Definitely tornadoes.
Yeah, and I was terrified. Okay, I've seen Twister. All right, I hid in my closet the entire night.
Everybody underground now. Anyway, well, let's stop talking about horrible natural disasters and let's talk about something fun.
The important thing is though that we care about our friends in Florida.
Obviously,
and we hope everybody's doing okay.
Absolutely. So stay safe out there, and hopefully you're taking care of yourselves. And let us know at the Annual Pass Podcast Twitter, and we'll say hi. So let's talk about something fun. So it is October now, and the plan was to talk about Halloween Horror Nights and spooky stuff, and I want to go in and talk about something spooky that I know, Jeff, you've been to, I've been to, Beaks, I don't think you've been to.
I haven't.
This is the horror makeup show at Universal Studios Florida. This is probably my favorite live show of all time at any theme park. I love this show.
Yeah. I was going to say, I was going to agree with you. And then as I was about to say, I remembered that Bourne show. And then I was like, well, it's pretty close.
I mean, like, that's kind of apples and oranges. Like, the Bourne show, like, that's a stuntacular. I would say like a stunt show. Like, you're talking Indiana Jones.
Here's
you're talking
the deal,
Conan.
Here's the deal, though. Apples and oranges are both fruit.
All right. Well, the horror makeup show, it is one of only 2 or 3 original attractions that open at Universal. When I was looking at when I was doing research on this episode, a lot of people say the Animal Actor Stage isn't technically an opening show, but it is. The only thing is the Animal Actor Stage actually changed a couple times. It was technically closed in 2001. And it opened up as, I think, the Animal Actor Stage, and then it closed in 2001 and reopened as Animal Planet Live, which then closed in 2006, and now it's Animal Actors on Location. But it's the same show. I mean, like, they changed the set a little bit, but I would argue that's the same thing since opening. But some people are like, oh, it's not an original attraction. That being said, also, the horror makeup show has changed its name twice as well. So, again, main content of the show hasn't really altered that much, but of course, those 2 shows, and then Jeff's favorite, E.T., has been there since the opening of the park. Yeah,
love that.
So those are the 3 things that have been at Universal Studios Florida since opening of the park. So this from Universal Sites, comedic thrills and grisly chills. In this outrageous live show, you'll watch how top makeup and special effects artists craft some of the creepy characters you've seen on the big screen, featuring movie clips, props, and interactive demonstrations. This experience offers fascinatingly funny insight into the movie-making process. This show is fantastic. It's over off the Sunset Boulevard area, across from Mel's Diner, right before you get to the Times Square area of Universal Studios, over by, Cafe La Bamba?
Yeah, I see it in my mind. Just Mom would never want to go.
Why not?
I don't know.
It's a great show.
It's inside. I tried to make a very good argument for her.
Super air conditioned.
Yeah, it's sit down the whole time, have a good time. You get to watch 2 comedians have just a time of their life for 25 minutes.
She'd rather wait in line for Transformers.
Also a good ride. A good ride, but not the horror makeup show.
Thank you.
It's something about Disney's very much family friendly, happy, nice, polite content. This show they get in, and one of the lines in the show is, "This isn't Disney. We can make fun of you."
Yeah.
Which is like, all right, okay, because they literally just poke fun at the audience. It's fantastic.
Awesome.
From Wikipedia here, I've got this. Universal Orlando's horror makeup show, previously titled the Phantom of the Opera Horror Makeup Show, which, Jeff, you're a big fan of the opera.
Yes, I am.
Me too.
Is a live show located at Universal Studios Florida that opened on June 7th, 1990, along with the theme park. It's a live demonstration of Universal Pictures' legacy of horror movies, with particular emphasis on prosthetic makeup. It was inspired by the former The Land of a Thousand Faces show, which ran from 1975 to 1980 at Universal Studios Hollywood. It's also notable for being one of 2 originally opening day attractions still in operation at Universal Studios Florida, the other being E.T. Adventure. See, that's the contentious part right there.
Oh, I see.
I would say Animal Actor Stage is also an opening day attraction. That makes sense to me.
It does. It makes sense to me, too.
Same stage, still animals. And did you see the TikTok of the dog at Animal Actor Stage on location run off and go find a service dog?
No,
yeah,
so cute.
They brought it there was a person in the front, because they usually have special access people in the front row, and they brought a dog out, and it saw a service dog who was sitting there, and it ran over and sniffed his butt, and they were like, come on, and it was like, come on, back in. And so, but everything was okay. But it's
okay, cool.
It's pretty cute. So Jeff, you'll appreciate this.
We'll see.
The show is hosted by two different people up on stage. It's always the same names for every person, so there's not their actual names. They're playing characters. The first one, the host of the show, is wearing like a suit and is kind of like the straight man of the show. Their name is Alex Ross.
Like the comic artist.
Yeah, like the comic artist. I don't know if that was intentional, but it's been around since 1990. Was Alex Ross big in the 90s, early 90s?
He kind of came to prominence in the mid to late 90s. I would say like 96, 97.
So this is
in my head.
Yeah, I remember.
Because the early 90s, it was dominated by like Todd McFarlane and Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld and those guys.
Rob Liefeld's the giant muscular
the guy who didn't understand ankles. he didn't understand the ankles needed to support the weight of all the muscles.
But Alex Ross did a lot of like classic DC stuff. He's like very very like Americana sort of look, right?
Yeah, it's very Americana and very high concept and very a lot of portraiture and a lot of painting. Yeah,
I've got a Super Grover that he did. He made they made a I think McFarlane actually did a Super Grover toy, and he did the art for it, and so it's like Super Grover and like done like a very like heroic comic book character, and it's signed by him.
I think the thing that was so appealing to the audiences that Alex Ross did was that he created lifelike characterizations of people when everyone else was going exaggerated and like hyper muscular.
It was more realistic.
Yeah,
it was like painting style almost, as opposed to like hand drawn.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's very, very cool stuff. Anyway, so one of the main host is named Alex Ross, and the let's see here, they have a friend from the special effects industry. That's how they phrase like, oh, well, my friend's in town. They're here to show you some special effects. It's great to have them out. And their name is Mark James if they're a male, and then they're also Marty James if they're a female. So it's either Mark or Marty.
We saw Marty.
We did see Marty. I think it was, we had two women hosted our show, right?
Yeah, two ladies.
Yeah, and they were hilarious too. So from
Marty was one of the funniest live performances I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. There's we'll get into it a little bit, but there's an interview with a couple of actresses who do the show, and it's just like hilarious reading. They've been so the show itself is literally the whole theater is just the two of them on stage, and I think they have one other producer running the show, and then a couple crew members who are there to like help load the audience. That's it. It is super low tech. It's not big fancy. It's not Born Stuntacular. They have people all over the place. This is like as basic as you get. And it looks like Universal gives them a lot of free reign to kind of go nuts and do what they want to do. As long as they're not cursing on stage, they can kind of do whatever they want. And it's fantastic. It's really, really good. From blog.discover.universal.com. It's there.
It rolls right.
I'm having issues there. So this is great. So this is actually that the website there, the blog.discoveruniversal.com.
You nailed it.
I got it that time. They did an interview with two of the actresses back in 2001 or 2021, excuse me, that were just talking about the show and kind of like the process behind it. There's some great quotes in there. I'll go check that out if you can. They say it was originally set up to be in the style of a nighttime talk show about Universal Studios horror films, a perfect fit for the park's new, quote, writing the movies theme, especially since Universal Studios basically created the horror genre. And that is absolutely true. Universal is like the main team behind all the horror movies. You think, Dracula, you think Wolfman, you think Frankenstein, that's all Universal.
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, which is great for Halloween Horror Nights because they can bring out these classic stables. When I worked at Disney MGM Studios, when I did the Great Movie Ride, we had a little section about horror movies. And they're like, oh, yeah, the classic horror movies in the 1930s and 40s. Look, they're zombies. Moving on. And that was it, 'cause we couldn't talk about anything. Like, we couldn't talk about the classic ones. So it was like, yeah, that's Universal's pretty much got that one covered. We couldn't, Disney didn't have a lot to say about horror movies, unfortunately.
What's your favorite classic horror movie? We were just talking horror movies before this with Beats.
Well, it's funny. I think Young Frankenstein when I think like classic horror movie, which isn't a horror movie.
No.
But, honestly, like Frankenstein is fantastic.
It is
the old
great movie.
Boris Karloff Frankenstein. That one's a good one.
Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead's a phenomenal
That was the
film.
late 70s, I think, right?
Yeah, I guess it's not classic.
They're coming to get you, Barbara. For me, it's Lon Chaney's Wolfman.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot get enough. I have plans to get a Wolfman tattoo from that movie. I just haven't gotten around to
Really?
it. Yeah.
Awesome.
I really, 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 really love that
Well,
movie.
you could get the annual pass shirt that has producer
Yes.
Ben as
That's
Wolfman.
true. That's true.
He's got him on there. I'm Frankenstein.
I already have that shirt.
There you go. I'm Frankenstein. I think you're Dracula. And
Yes.
Beaks, you're Bride of
Bride
Frankenstein.
of Frankenstein.
She looks awesome.
Yeah.
That last year the haunted house, the Bride of Frankenstein, Revenge of the Bride of Frankenstein, or Bride of Frankenstein, I forget what it was. That was a great house. It was a really,
it was
really cool
phenomenal.
house. And
It was all black and white.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
So cool.
and all the brides look so good, and like the
that's
set piece was so cool.
awesome.
So, but this year it's the Universal Classic Monsters Revenge or something. I forget. It's Wolfman, Frankenstein, I think Dracula. So we'll see that this year. We're going.
Dracula.
We're going for sure. I should point out too. We should talk about the stage. So when you walk into the area, like the horror makeup show area, when you first get in, sort of the pre-loading area, it's this sort of theater setup, and they've got props and makeup and stuff from all sorts of different eras
like
of
a little
Universal
museum.
horror things. Yeah, they have like Lon Chaney stuff. They have like all of these different cool, like Boris Karloff, like makeup kits and things.
Really?
And they have a lot of like history of all of these different horror movies. Now they have an area for The Mummy, the remake of The Mummy, because everyone assumed that movie was going to do awesome.
Right.
Did not. Over the years, that was rough. God. Oh, Tom Cruise, you can't save every movie. So over the years, the horror makeup show, they've changed it a little bit, and like they've added a couple different things. Like originally, when the first opened, they actually had a Gorillas in the Mist segment where they had someone come out in a gorilla costume and showed how that worked, which is kind of neat. They did stuff about The Fly. They did stuff about The Mummy Returns. Van Helsing they had a bit on, and now like kind of the big movie is The Mummy, the remake of The Mummy with Tom Cruise, and so they have stuff in the lobby about that. They have I want to say they've got the crypt from The Mummy, like the big like tomb from The Mummy in there, and they also have some Halloween Horror Nights like mannequins up as well that show how they do the makeup there. Beaks, you look confused. What's going on?
I didn't think there were any practical effects in the remake of The Mummy.
Well, I mean, the whole show is the horror makeup show. What did you think it was just like a CGI movie? The whole thing?
Yeah.
The movie of the remake.
No, the actress who played the mummy, they like covered her in like tattoos and stuff.
Okay.
It's a makeup show.
It was
it was a bad movie.
You get me.
I do. I totally get you.
I saw that.
We're on the same page.
Okay.
I saw that movie out in Los Angeles with our friends from Funhouse, and then we just walked out like, whew, that was a thing.
It's a shame that movie was so bad because the character design on that mummy
she was great.
So cool.
Yeah.
And like it was begging, like do cosplay of this, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it was such a unique, interesting character design. And then the movie was just such a mess.
Yeah.
That it just yeah.
Do you remember Russell Crowe was in that movie?
Bro, Russell Crowe's in everything nowadays. Like, what's going on with him?
Well, yeah, wasn't he like
He was Jekyll and Hyde.
No
Yeah.
way.
No, he was going to be Jekyll and Hyde. And then, and then they made a reference to like the Brendan Fraser mummy movies because they find the book and it's like, wait, what? Like it was like way too. It wasn't subtle enough to be like just like. It was
a
like
Easter egg.
they like hold it up to the camera, like look at this thing that we have here. Okay, we're gonna put it back, and it's like. Anyway, that was. And then Jake Johnson was Jake Johnson is hilarious, and he was just like. This weird role where he's like, "Thanks for bringing me back to life."
That was bizarre.
Yeah.
That was bizarre.
Very, very odd. But anyway, so you walk in, it has a bunch of cool stuff like that, and kind of take your time before they load the theater. And then once you get inside the theater, it seats, I think, like maybe 500 people. It's not a big theater. It's a smaller theater, maybe like 8 or 9 rows. Usually, like on slower days, they only load the front half of the theater.
Okay.
And it's just like kind of a little circular theater, kind of not in the round, but it's a like I guess a quarter circle kind of thing. You know, you're looking at the stage. The stage is set up to kind of look like sort of like a makeup shop. So it's like just sort of like tile floors, and then they've got shelves with a bunch of cool props. Like they had a Chucky doll there for a while. They've got a pile of limbs over on one side where it's like just different prop limbs.
That's funny.
And then some chairs and some like rolling carts and stuff. Just so kind of like what you would imagine. Like if you go over to stage 2 here, where we do all of our props and stuff, it kind of looks like that. It's very reminiscent of that. That stage has pretty much been the same. When they first opened the show, it was a lot more clean. It was very much like just kind of like a white, almost like when you walk into a makeup trailer and it's like very, very sort of like sparse, It initially looked like that. Then over the years, they've kind of changed the setup to make it a little bit more like just has stuff everywhere. It's just kind of like a streamer's bedroom. It's like there's stuff all over the place. It's pretty great.
That's a good analogy.
And so yeah. And so okay, this is from that interview again. I think one of the big and cool things we get to do is we get to decide which role we want to do, says Robin, who's one of the performers. Do you want to do host or makeup artist first? With Summer, her partner, she doesn't care. I truly don't care what we do. Sometimes we'll rock, paper, scissors it. So the two actors on stage,
know both roles that well.
Yeah. They'll literally go, I've done the show a couple times in a day and they've just swapped. So usually it's just the same 2 performers throughout the day because it's just one show. Like I think they do about 5 shows during the day typically.
Okay.
And so it's a 25-minute show with a break in between. So that's 6 hours of performing.
That's a lot of performing.
It is.
Yeah. So but they know the show so well now that literally they can do either role. And it's like they'll swap back and forth, and that's great. And I've seen the same performers doing both roles, and it's always a blast. Jeff, do you think there's anything that well enough that you could do any part of it? Like are there any movies that you could quote along so much that you can actually do the whole thing and play any role in it?
There was a period of time when I could have played any character in any episode of It's Always Sunny. Probably. But that's been years.
I could see you being Dennis. Like you strike me as like you could nail Dennis a little bit more. You've got that quiet intensity to you that I think.
Quiet intensity.
Yeah,
it's a good descriptor. I like that.
Like I don't see you. I could see.
I wish I could be Dennis.
I could see you kind of be a Charlie, but I don't think you're manic enough to be a Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beaks, do you watch a lot of shows? Do you watch a lot of It's Always Sunny?
No, I don't watch real people shows, but I have a lot of musicals in my life. Yeah. I could probably quote every character's part in like Phantom or Rent for sure. 100%.
521,000.
Yeah, 600 minutes. Yeah. What happened to Benny? What happened to his heart?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Will you light my candle?
I could.
All right. Those are Rent quotes, Jeff. I know.
I got it.
You're not big into musicals.
Listen, I live with someone who is, so I'm.
Oh, okay.
Get a lot of
You're
it through
one
osmosis.
of those, yeah.
Okay.
I'm musical adjacent.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're musically inclined by association.
Yeah.
Nice. Man, yeah, so it's great. And like honestly, like you said, like the performers there, they've done this role. Some of the actors have been there, I want to say since opening. Like there's 2 or 3 people that have been there for a long time.
Awesome.
There's one gentleman in particular that is very clearly Beetlejuice. Like you listen, you're like, yep, that's Beetlejuice 100% afterward. And like usually after the show, I'll hang around and just like thank the performers. Because like a lot of time people are like, all right, they'll get up and move on to the next thing. And it's like they put their heart into this thing and they're having a blast on stage.
Yeah, I do that for any live performances.
Surely it's not, I mean, it's their 10,000 hours, right? So it's not that dissimilar from what you do here.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to, you could sleepwalk through, like seriously, I mean, you could just like, you could sleepwalk through any production Rooster Teeth has ever made.
Yeah.
At this point. And I mean, yes, a lot of people would argue he already sleepwalks through
I do my best
most of the productions.
You read my mind.
But you know what I mean? It's because it's not written. What we do is, you know, more off the cuff. But I think it just comes with like just hours and
reps.
hours and hours.
Reps.
Well, and even in this interview, they talk about how, you know, there is a script and the script is really funny.
Yeah.
And they could just do the script and it'll be a funny show, but they're given free reign to add stuff to it. And so like they'll make references, like pop culture references, and like something will hit the news. Like I can guarantee you there was like a Queen reference like after the Queen passed away. Like they add stuff like that to the show all the time. Like I was watching some videos. There's tons and tons of videos online of people like doing full shows, which is great to watch the different performers.
Yeah.
But like one guy came out and made a One Direction joke, and it's like that's awesome. Yeah, it's so funny, and it's just like it's fun to. It's kind of like Jungle Cruise, where your skipper can give you a different show. Like you know, sometimes you get really hilarious shows. Sometimes there's kind of like and it really depends on the energy and kind of how they can take a script and do different things with it.
Well, you can definitely read how much a performer is enjoying the performance.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that certainly impacts the audience.
And this show for me, it feels like kind of similar to us in Achievement Hunter. It feels like to me they're just trying to make each other laugh, and there just happens to be an audience there.
That's the best part.
Yeah, it's like there are kind of schlocky jokes and whatnot, but for the most part, it's like when we do like back in the day when we do Achievement Hunter videos, my goal was just to make Jeff laugh. I didn't give a crap about anything else. If I could get Jeff to laugh, I had a successful video.
Still waiting.
Love you too, buddy. But it's really great. I'm not going to do, I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to do like a walkthrough of the show for this thing because this is one that I want you to go see. And I can't imagine they'd replace it with anything. This show is legendary. It's classic and it's really cheap too. Like, I mean, you pay 2 performers and that's really it. The show, and there's not a whole lot of special effects or anything. I mean, it is a special effects show, but there's not like explosions. There's no fire like Born Stuntacular. And it is a classic attraction that doesn't take up a big footprint. Apparently when they made the show, I think Expedition Theme Park did a great documentary on it. Go check that out on YouTube. But they said it cost around like $6 or $7 million to make. And that's nothing. And I mean,
in the grand scheme,
I mean, it's been up for over 30 years now.
It's made that money back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so, and again, 2 performers, like, and just the team members. So, like, this show I don't think is going anywhere. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you check out this show. It's one that's easy to miss. Like, BK, how many times have you been?
I've walked by it so many times. Even my parents would be like, it's whatever. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But now understanding that it is more like comedy based, it's going to be live performers. I definitely knew that I didn't go to a lot of those things being younger because my parents weren't sure what to get into. And I was always with them. So they could never see it to tell me. So I think that's probably why I haven't seen it, because I would love this. I cosplay. I love special practical effects. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. And so here's like I'm showing BK and Jeff just like the stage, like the performers there. It's great, like because they'll pull audience members to do stuff, and it's just like a lot of fun because they mess with the audience members, and they've I'm showing you a video before the pandemic, but now they they do stuff that like references the pandemic. Like they'll have a volunteer come on stage.
That's so funny.
Like I don't know how long they'll do it.
Funny.
I just remembered they hand sanitizer.
Yeah, so they come on stage initially they have like hand sanitizer for themselves, but then they brought like a kid on stage and they're like, "Where are you from?" He's like, "I'm from Florida," and they like they just keep pumping hand sanitizer on his hand, like a pile of hand sanitizer.
Here you go. Okay, good. Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's stuff like that. It's like, that's fun, It's like it's harmless, but it's really funny stuff. But the set is really cool. It's all it's dressed up like a makeup set you would imagine. Tons of heads and stuff all over the place. They got a skeleton. It's
also giving kind of laboratory vibes, which is nice.
There's some really cool. I mean, it is a very light history of Universal horror, and like they talk about makeup, they talk about prosthetics and like latex versus makeup, and they actually have a mock-up of the head from an American Werewolf in London. Which is really because they show how like the prosthetics, how they like expanded it when the dude transforms into the werewolf, like his face contorts, and they actually a lot of that was like animatronics in the transition stuff, and it's really really cool because they have the heads, and that is one of the few things that has been there since opening day. That head, the Wolfman head, has been there since day one.
Have you seen An American Werewolf in London? The John Landis movie?
Add that to your list.
You gotta put that at the top of your list. That is a phenomenal film.
Right,
great movie.
And but yeah, it's the whole show is a lot of fun. So what else do I have to say about this? Oh yeah, so obviously I'm a big fan of the horror makeup show. Every time I go to Universal, I go check it out. But they have some diehard fans, and that same blog.discoveruniversal.com interview. I had it one time, and then it fell apart. Again, a quote from it. Quote, "Some of our diehard fans will bring us treats and snacks, continues Summer. Some of our awesome pass holders come in cosplay." There you go, BK, that could be you. "We have people like this girl who brought us 2 rubber ducks. You'll see them on stage painted as Alex and Marty in the background." So she brought 2 rubber ducks and they put them on the set.
That's
so cute.
And, they're actually in like the back left corner.
You gotta look for the duckies next time y'all go.
I'll see if I can spot it.
Secret duckies.
Yeah.
So
can you spot the duckies?
Let me see. It's tough to see in this shot. It's kind of behind
the head. At a wrong angle. They're at an angle from the left, so we can't see.
Yeah, it's kind of covered up by some stuff. But anyway, so that's really cool. I mean, it is a show that people love, and I go to every single time. And even though it's technically the same show, it's not. Every show is different.
Well, it's through the improvisational nature of it, they're allowed to maintain cultural relevance.
Yeah.
Right? So it's always allowed to exist in the moment. And one thing I think that maybe we didn't hit on enough is that it is super informational too. Like you really are learning about special effects, and it is super interesting stuff.
Yeah, I will say if you have some squeamish people with you, there are a couple videos they show, but they do give you a warning during the show that they'll show stuff from like The Thing and like some of the classic, like Evil Dead's in there actually. There's a lot of cool like horror stuff they'll show, like, and like then they'll go like, this is how they did the effects, or like and they'll show like some like cool like knife effects and how they do blood and stuff, and it's really neat. And they do pull like an audience member from they pull a volunteer from the audience, and it's usually someone that doesn't want to be on stage. And I read a couple interviews with some of these people. They say they try to go for people who don't know English. Like they specifically will target people. It's like, that looks like someone who's not from America. And they'll bring them on, and just like the confusion, and then just play it all. It's so great. It's so great. And it's fun because you do a lot of live stuff, and when you have someone like that, you have an unknown, you just kind of have to roll with whatever they're giving you. And they can you can have like a volunteer who's like super over the top excited, or a volunteer who does not want to be there, and they will make it funny every single time.
Yeah,
so
it's a fun challenge as an entertainer.
It is really, really fun. So again, I'm not going to give you a walk through this because I want you to see this show, and it's worth it. 100%. If you go to Universal Studios Florida, go check out the horror makeup show. Tell them Annual Pass sent you, because you got to see it. It's a 25-minute show, runs about 5 times a day. They've got the times in the app, or they have a sign out front. It can be easy to miss because it is kind of in a corner, sort of tucked around in a corner. Yeah,
like the sign is like, in my memory, you could walk by, you have to kind of look back to see it, right?
I think it's a mock-up of the Pantages Theater, and it has a marquee that's a horror makeup show. And you
could think it's a restaurant, like, to be honest, because it's right next to the restaurant,
or just across from Mel's, or just like window dressing,
something, right? Because that whole like avenue is all themed that way.
Yeah.
So.
But go check it out. If anything, just for a classic Universal, to see something that's been there since the park opened. Literally, it's funny. The 3 attractions that are all there since opening day are within like a couple hundred feet of each other.
Listen, go see it, or he'll never stop telling you to go see it.
You got to put on your bingo checklist. I know. That is one of them.
That should original ride. It should be the free space because everyone should go to this thing. One fun fact I have about it. So the show is, it hasn't changed a lot, but they have done some different stuff. At the end of the show, there is like a finale where something happens, where like something appears and is fun and just like chaotic and whatnot. The ending of the show has changed. Where originally, Jeff, you'll appreciate this. The original end of the show ended with they had the fly pods
Okay.
So they had Jeff Goldblum's The Fly from the 80s. They had 2 fly pods on the other side, and Mark James would get into one of them and then appear on the other side as like creepy fly, and then he'd come out the other side all torn up and whatnot.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and then at the end, it was fun. Then at the end of the show, like he would turn around, he had little fly wings, and like, that's cute. And then they had a character named what was it? It was Edgar. So now the end of the show has a character named Eddie. I'll just say, it's from a kid's show, but they had a character before named Edgar. Who
you ever seen Ed, and Eddie?
Yes, of course.
It's that one.
Exactly that one. They had a character named Edgar who was a hunchback kind of like character who would come out and do a very similar thing to what Eddie does. So it was more of a different kind of prop. So don't want to spoil it for you, BK.
Don't spoil it.
I want you to see this show with me.
We will.
But yeah, again, I can't stress enough. This show, it's very unique, very fun, and anytime you give improv actors the sort of free reign to go nuts on a show like this, you're gonna have a great time. So go check out that show when you're there. Do you have a question, BK?
Oh no, I guess I was just gonna be like, I don't know, giving more love to the actors at the theme parks because they really like do the thing, and we don't see a lot of it now. Like my most recent experience, which was pretty cool, is I was forced to go watch the Frozen sing along.
Oh yeah.
I did not know there's 2 hosts of that as the storytellers, and they're improving the major moments to the story, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
It made the experience so interesting. So like anything with real actors, real casts in any theme park, go support, please. Like, because they make it.
Yeah, that was my favorite thing. Like when I worked there, I specifically wanted to do an attraction where you got to spiel, like you got to talk to the audience. So I worked at the Great Movie Ride, which it is a very scripted performance, but again, you can turn it into something good if you do it right, as opposed to just kind of like robotic read lines.
Right.
And then I did the backlot tour, which I also had a little bit of reign to kind of say, like, tweak lines how I wanted to, and I had a lot of fun with that. And I love those things, and it's sad that those are kind of going away because they are more expensive. They take more more time to train. There's more of a performance type role as opposed to just kind of a normal cast member role. But really, again, it's like Kilimanjaro Safaris is like, that one's kind of cool because there is a lot of improv in that one because it's animals. That's the one in Animal Kingdom.
What are they doing? Yeah, like, and so, make it up.
Yeah, I mean, literally, like a rhino could walk in front of the truck and it's like, well, we're not moving for a while, and so I've got to kill time, and they're not going to honk a horn at the animals.
Right.
It's their house. And so, that I love that one just because there's cheetahs in it. I love cheetahs. Those are my favorite animals.
You're a cheetah guy?
I love cheetahs. Cheetahs are the largest cat that purr.
You didn't peg me for
you like
cheetah, man.
Yeah, I love cheetahs. I love cats.
You a big Chester cheetah fan?
Yeah. Get some cheese puffs. It's good times.
He wears glasses.
He does.
Mine back on.
Yeah. Now you got a lot cooler,
He's
Jeff.
cool.
Yeah. Didn't I get
For a second, you got a little boring there in the middle of the show.
I'm back. Cool Jeff's back.
Yeah. This is where you take out the ponytail and throw
and you let it fly.
Yeah. Like, whoa, who is this guy? But yeah,
I'm gonna go buy a motorcycle.
You missed that. That's like early 40s when you buy the motorcycle.
I bought a motorcycle in my early 20s and I wrecked it twice, and that's why I don't have a motorcycle in my 40s.
You laid down a Vespa too.
I didn't lay down a Vespa. I flipped a Vespa.
Oh, that's a fun story. But yeah, so, but I'm trying to think of what other attractions. Are there any at Universal that have, I mean, other than like the stunt shows, obviously, like those are full on performance shows. But yeah, like the
Am I tripping to Jaws? I was going to say, didn't that have people?
Jaws had a host, but that's gone now too.
Yeah, R.I.P.
King Kong, Confrontation had a host, and I totally forgot that. Yeah, Confrontation had a host, but yeah, it's really like backlot tours, kind of like the only big one now. Like, I think the Hollywood backlot tour is going to be the most kind of like spieling thing, but even now they replaced a lot of it with pre-recorded stuff, which is
annoying.
Drives me nuts.
We need a resurgence. No more screens telling me things. I want people. I want acting, improvisation, and comedy. Give it to me.
It's fun too because a lot of the actors and actresses at Universal, you'll see them bounce between the Born Stuntacular and the horror makeup show.
You'd be like, huh?
Yeah,
Are you good?
Yeah, I've seen like the CIA director end up as like Marty James. It's like, wait a minute.
I was like, yeah, I do these on Tuesdays. Don't worry.
Yeah, it is fun though. It is cool. You go enough of those things, you start spotting the same people.
That's awesome.
Again, there's a dude who's very clearly Beetlejuice, and also during Halloween Horror Nights, they typically will have Beetlejuice or another performer outside. Either outside or like before the makeup show starts.
Okay.
They'll be there kind of hyping up the crowd and stuff, and it's really fun.
I feel like I've seen a Beetlejuice at Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
They're doing a new Beetlejuice movie, right?
Are they?
I think so.
Maybe. I did see talks about it recently, but it could be because it's almost spoopy season on Twitter.
That's
but
true.
I've been seeing a lot of clips.
That's true.
Ben's way too slow on this.
He is.
We've talked about this before.
I
and it
feel like
was
we have.
Ben
back and
Lexa.
forth.
Also, I think there's rumors in the ether.
Give me a minute, I'll find something.
All right. Well,
Give me
here.
the fact
Well, while
checks.
you think of that, I've got some postcards here. We got some stuff. We love postcards here.
Oh, wow.
At Annual Pass.
What is this?
And so I got a
God.
couple in here. We can read a couple. I got one here from let's see here, Jeanette, who says, "Hello, it's the Disney Cruise Line."
Oh my God, Disney Cruise Line! I grew up on those.
Did you? I've never been on one.
I've been on like so many.
How are they?
They're awesome.
Really?
Like, oh my gosh.
This is a picture of the Magic.
The Magic!
Does this go to Florida or California?
Florida!
Okay, yeah, so the Magic. It says, hello again, Jeff, Jack, BK, and Ben. I also sent the Tivoli Gardens postcard, which I think I gave to you right there. But wanted to send this too. There were 2 water slides on the Disney cruise, so I considered it appropriate for this podcast. It's Disney. Of course it's appropriate. Maybe Rooster Teeth can send you on one. Any new Disney, and the new Disney Wish boat has a fancy new water ride. Love the podcast. The Wish is the brand new one that just launched this year. That's
I
cool.
wish. I think I've been on the other ones. It's pretty awesome.
What's Jeanette's Tivoli Gardens
First
one?
of all, this, like,
That's
for those of you can
massive
see,
one.
it's massive. There's lots of roller coasters on it. There's the rides I don't like, the drop ones, and then I have no idea what this is. It looks like an AT walker.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It looks like they fling
it's
around.
horrifying.
Hello, Jeff, Jack, BK, and Ben. My family have been planning to go to, I can't say that, up in Hagen, Weapon-Hagen. I'm so sorry. For a couple of years, and thanks to your podcast, I forced them to go to Tivoli Gardens, as it is one of the oldest theme parks. I recommend it. It's a very strange park. Once you get inside its walls, it's unlike any park I've been to. I absolutely love the podcast, and you've helped grow my theme park obsession to unhealthy levels. Thank you, Jeanette. Let's go.
Does it say where Tivoli Gardens is?
It
sounds like Europe.
I don't see it. I'm looking. I can't see. I will tell you if I find out.
Ben Lexa, where is Tivoli Gardens?
Denmark.
Thank you.
Denmark.
Oh, nice. We can go there, then we can go to Legoland.
Sick.
That's cool.
I don't want to ride that.
Yeah, that looks very scary.
That
looks
looks
like
like
it's just gonna whip you out
centrifugal
into the
force
sky.
is what that looks like.
Jeff, what do you got there?
Well, I'm going to be able to read most of this. This is greetings from Worlds of Fun.
Worlds of Fun.
And it's lenticular, so it's very cool. It's a weighty postcard. It's good. I like it.
Those are nice.
This is here. Well, I'll just do my best. Hello again. The Halloween haunt is about to begin at Worlds of Fun, and I can't wait. I am super jealous, but happy for you guys. Oh, thank you to go to Halloween Horror Nights. I've been once, but it was I've only been once, but it was awesome. Here at World of Fun, there is a vampire-themed haunted house, and then it's in the.
Oh, it's
kind of hard to
stamped.
read. Yeah, it's got stamped, so it's like that used to have underground nightclub themed computer with strippers. They have been
like a Star
removed
Blade
to be more family friendly. Lol. Yeah.
Who said that? Do you have a name?
It looks like Storm. Is that Storm and Scully? It's Mulder and Scully?
Yeah, Stormy Sully.
Stormy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much
for sending
this
us that.
This is one of the coolest ones we've gotten so
That is
far.
really nice.
See, oh, that's what you mean by the big word you said.
Lenticular.
And
I've got
the Scenic Skyway from Nobles. This is, hey, Jack, Jeff, and BK. Sorry, Ben. Look forward to the show every week. Here's a local park with a bunch of wooden roller coasters, also known as the Carnival That Never Left. Thanks, Evan, Kathleen, and Ethan. This is Nobles. I think it's in Pennsylvania. Ellisburg, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania?
I really hope they wrote "Sorry, Ben" on there.
No, they didn't.
No, they did. They definitely did not.
They definitely didn't.
Just to follow up on Beetlejuice 2 real quick. So back in February, Deadline reported that Brad Pitt's production company Plan B was on board to produce a Beetlejuice sequel. That's all the news we have about it so far.
Yeah, it's listed as in production on IMDb.
I'll be honest. Brad Pitt's production company is the one that ruined World War Z. So anyway,
Well, as long as Tim Burton is involved, I wouldn't worry.
That's true.
He's listed as involved in the IMDb.
Oh, that's good. Okay, last one here, Jeff.
Okay, so this is Worlds of Fun, Oceans of Fun.
Double wide postcard.
It's awesome, and it's you could.
Yeah, that's
You
what
like
I'm
chop
saying.
wood with this
I
thing.
got 2 monitors.
And this is from the same people. It's from Storm and Avery Sully, it looks like. Hello, Jack, Jeff, BK, and...
Let's assume Ben.
I can't read that. It definitely says hello, Jack, Jeff, BK, and
then it's
I can't make out the last. It's 3 letters. I can't get it.
Probably Dave Cobb.
Yeah. Probably Dave. Yeah.
Oh, Dave. Maybe Dave. Yeah, and
or
Dave.
Mally, maybe.
I'm going to be sending y'all another postcard. we got
we got
these out of order.
Yeah.
And a bunch of pins from Worlds of Fun. My grandma gets a season passes for Christmas every year, so my wife and I go all the time. That's a great grandma.
Yeah, here I think we actually have the.
Not that my grandma's not great, but she's
I think
not
we might
getting
have
me
the pins
passes
in
to
here.
Worlds of Fun. And I go all the time. They've got great coasters and water slides, and are getting a new one next year. Storm Legend on the site. And then 1 out of 4 notes you will get. This is number 1 of 4. I realize the number.
I've got 3 of 4 here
I got
as
4
well.
of 4.
Yeah.
I guess this is 2 of 4. Yeah, this is 2 of 4.
So we've got, here's the Worlds of Fun pins. Thank you very much again from Storm and Avery.
Thanks for letting us play this ARG too. This is great.
This is awesome.
Yeah. Mine has 4. It's the lapel pin set. It's got Patriot, Viking, Voyager, Prowler, and Boomerang.
Can I see it for a second?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Mine.
No. We can add it to the set. Whenever we get a permanent set someday.
I like the Patriot. Oh, Boomerang looks cool.
Boomerang looks really cool. What you got there, BK?
Note 4. You are able to make it out to our local park. Our Halloween haunt is great, but the water park is also super cool. Ooh. Thank you. Check out these awesome pins. These are pretty cool. Fury of the Nile. I like them.
That's cool. Yeah, Mamba. Oh, Mamba looks
right?
neat.
They're awesome.
Oh, there are more?
Yeah.
I'll trade you.
Second set. What's
Pin
the other
trade.
set? Let me see. No, I like those ones back. Give me those ones back.
Oh,
I like
Jeff, give them back. Come on.
But that one has a snake in it.
We got pin trading happening on the set right now.
This one's got a super fast eagle.
Nice. So if you want to send us a postcard or send us anything like, all of these amazing pins, thank you again, everyone. You can send it to Annual Pass, care of Rooster Teeth Productions, 1901 East 51st Street, Austin, Texas, 78723. And I want to start. We have so many postcards now. I'm gonna make some sort of collage. Like I'm gonna go and get like a cork board.
Yeah.
And we can start having them up because we have enough now to fill like a wall. And this is awesome. That's exactly what I wanted to happen.
Yes.
And it's great.
It's almost like you could do that on one of our monthly live streams.
That's true. That's true. Speaking of which, thank you for the reminder, Ben. We have another stream coming up October 12th at 2 p.m. Central. So October 12th over at youtube.com/annualpass or over at Rooster Teeth, 2 p.m. Central. We're going to be answering Q&A questions that we ask you, the audience, at the end of every episode. And then if we pick your answer from our list of questions, then we will send you a theme park map, an autographed theme park map. And speaking of which, we got to ask a question for this week. So I'm going to ask this. Since we're talking about the horror makeup show, what is your favorite scary movie? Because, horror movies obviously have a whole lot of makeup and a whole lot of special effects and prosthetics. What is your favorite scary movie? That sounds like the opening of Scream.
What's your favorite scary movie, Cindy?
Sydney? I thought it was Sydney.
Sydney.
Nailed it. So go to roosterteeth.com, leave a comment in the comments of this episode over on the site of what your favorite scary movie is. And producer Ben's going to pull out a whole bunch during our live stream, and we'll mail you guys some theme park maps. So thank you very much. BK, do you feel like you learned anything today?
Yeah, I learned that I'm pissed. I've never seen this show before, and I have to go. It's on top of my list.
How many times have you been to Universal Studios Florida?
I literally could not count, on the hands I own, which are only 2.
What do you say?
Don't get it twisted, okay?
Jeffrey, you feel like you learned anything?
I do. I learned that not everybody liked the new Mummy movie, I guess.
It's crazy. I didn't know terracotta warriors were mummies. I'm just trying to figure that one out still.
Go and check out that interview over at blog.discoveruniversal.com. It's fantastic. It's really great. Just look up horror makeup show interview, and you can read that interview. It's a really, really cool interview. Go check out Expedition Theme Park's history of the horror makeup show. It's really good. It's only like 12 minutes long. It's really awesome as well. And thank you so much, everyone, for supporting our show and watching and listening to our show. It really means the world to us. Please spread the word about Annual Pass. We're going to be getting out to Florida very soon for Halloween Horror Nights. We got to get there before the end of October because that's when it shuts down. And and just tell your friends about it because this podcast spreads by word of mouth.
Absolutely. And don't forget to listen to the Rat Castle podcast with our friend Dave Cobb, and go watch the Savannah Bananas when they come to your town playing banana ball.
I like BK. I like your shirt.
Your shirt's okay.
I survived the Annual Pass podcast.
You did.
Well, so far.
It's an awesome shirt. We have a couple of spooky shirts. We have the I Survived the Annual Pass podcast one. We have our Faces shirt, and we have our This Is My Theme Park shirt coming soon. I got to figure out when that one's coming soon. Like it's coming. I want to say the end of October. I'll yell at our merch people, figure out when that's happening. We'll have an answer during our live stream. But again, thank you very much, everyone. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you next time. And thanks for watching and listening to Annual Pass. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.